just as Amy's film, The Invisible War, is raising the visibility for a hidden challenge, the Changing the Face of Philanthropy awards honor those among us who are blazing new pathways or who have paved the road ahead of us and shown us the way. With this in mind, I would like to introduce our first awardee, Michaela Walsh, who firmly falls in the latter category as a pioneer who has paved the way for women funding women. She grew up in Kansas City, Missouri, and credits the sharp memories of seeing social inequalities in her hometown with influencing her life's path. In 1975, at a time when most women around the world needed a male to co-sign in order to open a bank account, Michaela founded Women's World Banking, which is still the only microfinance network explicitly focused on women. In more than 3 decades since, Women's World Banking has formed 40 financial networks in 28 countries that have served 26 million people, 80% of them women. In 2009, their network had an outstanding loan portfolio of $4 billion. Michaela has broken other barriers as a woman leader. Before founding Women's World Banking, she was the first woman partner at Botcher & Company and the first woman manager of Merrill Lynch International. Her story at Merrill Lynch illustrates her pioneering spirit. When Merrill Lynch opened an office in Beirut in 1960, Walsh volunteered to relocate and help run operations. The domestic office said it would be too dangerous for a woman to venture to Lebanon, so Walsh quit her job and applied for the position with Merrill Lynch International. They didn't turn her down. She said the experience taught her how to play and work with people from all over the world and how to live as a global citizen. She later transferred from Beirut to London, where she helped open up British financial markets to international firms. Back in New York, she worked for one of the first hedge funds and eventually the Rockefeller Brothers Fund, which is where she first hatched the idea that she could get real resources to women by helping to set up women-run banks and financial institutions. In the 1960s, she became the first woman manager at Merrill Lynch International, served as a project director for the U.S. Congressional Office of Technology Assessment, and as a program associate with the Rockefeller Fund. After founding the bank, she became a director of community leadership and the Global Student Leadership Institute at Manhattanville College in New York City. Today, Women's Funding Network is honoring Michaela Walsh for her prolific contributions to the world of women-led philanthropy. She has truly changed the face of philanthropy. Michaela is unfortunately unable to join us here to accept her award in person, but she's pre-recorded a message for us, and we're going to hear from Michaela right now.
I am truly sorry that I'm not able to be with you today, but I am grateful for this technology that permits me to share my personal note of thanks to you all. I was stunned when I learned that I would receive an award from Women's Funding Network, but as I thought about it, I realized that my life's work in founding the movement that became Women's World Banking was exactly on target. What we as a group of women from around the world helped to create was the first women's funding network. What we learned can still be shared and used by everyone at this gathering, I'm quite certain. In 1975, women from around the world met, many for the first time, in Mexico City at the very first UN Conference for Women. Try to imagine that we had no internet, we had no cell phones, almost no understanding of each other's culture. But we understood clearly that women needed to control the means of production and their own reproduction. Women everywhere were entrepreneurs and leaders, but they could not use their voices to access the formal financial system. I saw this as half of the world's population having no access to the tools of production, no savings, no loans, in their own name. And we decided to change that. This was never an attempt to tell women what to do or what they should do. It was a mechanism to help them do what they really wanted to do. After Mexico City, I returned to my office at the Rockefeller Brothers Fund and told them that we were going to build a global financial network for women and that everyone would participate as a decision-making member, country by country. Recently, I interviewed our Rockefeller Brothers Fund's former president and vice president for the story I had just written, Founding a Movement WW Women's World Banking 1975 to 1990, which is now with the publisher. And for the first time, I had an insight into what a tough job we had convincing others about what we wanted to do. Russell Phillips, who has now become a good friend, recalled believing at that time, how could we start a women's global financial institution with decision-making by others at a local level? How could we give up all that control? I mean, can you imagine? He said, besides, if there was a need for such a project, men would know about it and men would fix it. He also said that day that those memories now make him feel like a dinosaur. No one thought we could do it, but we did. I knew nothing about international development at that time, and my UN colleagues knew nothing about international banking. But we never gave up. By 1980, we were chartered in the Netherlands, and we never stopped expanding. Most important, we never stopped believing in each other. By 1990, when I stepped down as president, there were women's groups legally registered in about 50 countries around the world as WWB affiliates or working towards affiliation. After that, governments and foundations began supporting what is now known as micro. And today, after nearly 35 years, Women's World Banking is still a global network of over 40 network members. When young people ask me now how we did this, I say that we set out to accomplish something essential. We took time, we took risks to create a new idea. Most importantly, we trusted each other and worked together to prove that we could learn from understanding local cultures. And believe me, we made many mistakes, but it was all essential. We just kept going. I urge each of you to continue that long-term tradition. This gathering, including many of you whom I know personally, is a testament to what we can all do together as women. The other day I heard a woman say, women everywhere are starting to roar again, and we all need to just keep roaring. On behalf of all of the WWB founders and all the professionals, donors, governments, and individual women who helped us, I just want to extend another thank you to you all.
Well, congratulations again to Michaela, and thank her for her work.